Hi everyone. We have Praveen today. We will be conducting a sort of mock interview for Praveen. Praveen, you are a fresher, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So at fresher level, we'll see what sort of activities, projects, and experience does Praveen have, and we will try to give him feedback as we progress. So just watch it if you are at same level or 0 to 1 years experience level, and then hopefully it will benefit you as well. So Praveen, over to you to introduce yourself and explain what sort of projects and experience do you bring.
Hello, sir. Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank you for giving me this opportunity. Um, I started my education journey from Providence School, Mansar. It was located in Ramtech. I was there till 10th class. After that, I moved to Nagpur for pursuing junior college 11th and 12th in Taiwade Junior College. And I parallelly do courses of JEE preparation. After that, I done my graduation in Kavikulguru Institute of Technology and Science in computer technology field. In last year, I have a subject of cloud computing. From that, I got interested in cloud and DevOps subject. So, gather the information and knowledge of DevOps and cloud subject. I moved to Hyderabad for 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 taking courses, and I joined courses in Intellective IT Institute. In that, I have learned Git, Jenkins, Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, and many of AWS services like IAM, VPC, EC2, etc. While pursuing courses, I have also done some projects like end-to-end implementation of a pipeline. In that project, uh, I have integrated most of the DevOps tools like Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, and I have also done a project on containerization of voting application. In that, I have made the infrastructure in a microservice architecture, and also monitor it using Prometheus. I also monitor my Kubernetes cluster using Prometheus. And I also done one project on VPC. In that, I have divided VPC in two subnets, public and private. In private subnet, I made two instances without public IP, and I deploy application in that with you, and I have made a Bastion host on a public subnet. By using that, I deploy application in private sub. Thank you.
Okay. So basically, you like passed out. You did your graduation last year, and
Uh,
since finished
yes,
last
sir.
year,
I
2023.
completed, yeah, June 23.
Okay. And since then, you have been studying. And did you also get any opportunity as internship or anything else?
No, sir. I have give one interview, but unfortunately, I was not.
Okay. Uh, so some of the things that you mentioned, can you brief a bit on microservices architecture? Like what exactly are microservices and what are some of the benefits they bring?
So in that, I have created a virtual machine kind of thing, because a microservice is like we don't have to depend on a special hardware or a computer.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, upon a Docker host, they have created a virtual machine like environment.
Okay. So what do you understand by microservices architecture?
It's a loosely coupled architecture with a dependency on libraries.
Hmm.
uh, we can use in a one hardware like one laptop, we can use many microservices to
And
reduce cost
what do
and
you
all.
mean by loosely coupled?
So microservice come with layer and layer. It doesn't come with all in a one. So if you want two microservices, if we install first microservice and then we try to install second, so second microservice does not download completely. It only download the required layers, which is not necessary, which is not available in our Docker.
Can you give an example?
First we have installed Ubuntu and like Jenkins. First we have to install Ubuntu, and after that we try to install Jenkins. So suppose there in Ubuntu there are 10 layers, and in Jenkins there are 7 layers. So then we try to install Jenkins. so that our it doesn't download all the 7 layers of Jenkins.
Mhm.
First, it will check that if there is if one of the layer is already present in Ubuntu structure. So if that is present, it will not download it, or else it will download.
What is the benefit of microservices architecture?
We can use so cost optimization. We don't rely on many hardware resources,
Hmm.
and we can manage it easily. Like one person can manage many of the microservices.
Okay.
We don't have to do manually.
All right. I got some idea about your profile, what kind of experience you have. How about any pipeline that you created? What do you mean when you created an end-to-end pipeline? What sort of tools you integrated?
So I first fetch a code from GitHub. I didn't develop that code. That code was created by some developer and it was
How
provided
complex
by
was
me.
that code?
Oh no, it's just a simple HTML code to deploy it on application. Simple
Okay.
HTML code. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
HTML.
So I yes yes.
Have you built Java application?
No sir.
Have you built .NET application?
No, I didn't have
Node.js,
any.
Python, any other application?
No no.
Okay.
I didn't developer knowledge. So my pipeline started like I first fetched the code from GitHub and I build that code into artifact using MVN package and that package I take a base image of Ubuntu and that artifact I copy into that my Docker file and created a new Docker image.
Okay.
After that, I push that image into Docker Hub and by using Ansible, I integrated Ansible and Docker. By using Ansible, I fetched that image from Docker Hub and deploy it onto two server. On that two server, I run a Selenium script which will test that code. And after coming to conclusion that my code is good, I fetched that Docker Hub image which I uploaded and put it into Kubernetes cluster.
Okay. But which you didn't create Kubernetes cluster that is created outside of this process.
No, I created it.
So that
Uh,
was created already ready for you to deploy.
no, I created it using EKS, Amazon
Okay.
service. Yes, and I deployed into that.
How do you deploy a service into Kubernetes? You use Jenkins
So,
for this?
yes, no, yes, I can say that I write a deployment for definition file and also write the service definition file, and
Mhm.
I trigger that command using Jenkins like sh kubectl sh IP address of that server and the command kubectl hyphen f.
But how your Jenkins will communicate with EKS?
So I integrated that both the server using SSH passwordless
You
connection.
use the same server.
Yes. No. I had a different server, Kubernetes, and different server is Jenkins. So I have both passwordless SSH connection and do that.
Okay. What is the other way if you have, what's the good practice to connect to your EKS cluster from Jenkins?
Uh, we can use one server in that we can use Jenkins and Kubernetes.
Okay. Did you use any other tool like GitLab,
No, sir.
GitHub Actions?
No, I only use Jenkins.
Only use Jenkins. Any specific reason, Jenkins?
Not any specific reason, but it has a good market area and many plugins are available there.
Tell me
And
five best practices for using CI/CD pipelines. When we are using CI/CD pipelines, what five things we should ensure?
uh, like I didn't understand.
Any
What's
good
that?
practices that this should be done, this should not be done when we are creating pipelines.
Okay, so each and every step we should give name that this stage is happening for that purpose, and also that is first. And second, I can recall that there are many plugins available for deploying and integrated with many tools.
Mhm.
And we can say that it's come in a declarative pipeline and scripted pipeline, so it's come in a proper structure. All that can be for.
Okay. And how about ensure? How do you secure username and password in your pipelines?
Uh, we can generate credentials in Jenkins. There are in manage Jenkins there are option credential. we can add their we can add our credential like password and username, and in our pipeline we can use that. So in pipeline they are not visible.
So this is a good practice, right? We should highlight this.
Okay, okay, yes, sir. I didn't know about
Which cloud platform you are comfortable with?
AWS.
Okay. And you mentioned you created a sort of, do you know what is internet gateway?
Yes.
What is internet
So
gateway?
yeah, it give access to our instances to access external network traffic. So VPC is a isolated area. So if we create one instances in a VPC, so give internet access to that instances, we can use internet gateway.
And does that mean that outside people can also access that EC2 instance or from the internet?
Uh, no, for that outside people can access, but we will also that route table. We will also assign route table and route 53. So use a domain name and
Mhm.
that internet gateway should know that this this IP address should give access and this IP address should know that we can define in our security groups.
Okay. Can you explain me what happens when you in your browser type google.com or netflix.com? What really happens behind the scene?
Okay, so if we type google.com, that will first go to DNS,
Mhm.
and in DNS, they will check that what kind of IP address is attached to that domain name.
Mhm.
So, if we have then that DNS will fetch that IP address server, and our traffic will directly allocate to that.
But if, for example, Google is not single IP, right? Google is a big company, so google.com will be on, say, 10,000 servers.
Yes, yes.
So how one IP works with that?
So for that we can use load balancer IP address. It's starts off. So it give entire cluster one IP address. So we will also.
All right. Can you give me some idea about, you have mentioned Terraform as well in your resume.
Yes, sir.
Can you give me an overview of how Terraform works?
So Terraform is a infrastructure as a code. We can write a code. We don't have to do manual activities if we want to create a infrastructure on a cloud provider. We can write a code and it will just simply make that infrastructure.
And how does it work? What's the architecture? How?
The life cycle of Terraform starts from Terraform init, Terraform plan, Terraform apply, and Terraform destruct. First, we will write main.tf file. In
Mhm.
that file, we will write all our code. Like suppose we have to make instances or VPC, we will write all that script.
But I
And
all like when you suggested Terraform to your customer, they already have a VPC and 5 EC2 instances created manually. So
yes,
how would you handle that?
Um, so for that we can use Terraform FMT, so that Terraform should already know that this is already created infrastructure,
Mhm.
and we have and it can add into Terraform state file, so that Terraform should know that that infrastructure should not overlap. Suppose they have already created 5 instances, and I want to deploy application on one, so it didn't do that. So it already cleared one instance and the total instances become six. No, Terraform should know that by using state file for this.
Okay. And what is special about state file? What is state file in Terraform?
So when we give Terraform apply command, Terraform automatically made that state file to know that this is our desired state of no, this is our current state of infrastructure that we have made.
And what is the disadvantage of Terraform state file?
Uh, Disadvantage.
Yep. Any issue or anything that you have seen, any problem with Terraform state file?
I didn't use Terraform that much. I only know that basic level, so I didn't.
What are Ansible? You worked on Ansible, you mentioned, right?
I recall one Terraform state file that. Can I say that?
Yeah, yeah, please, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a best practice that we should always keep our state file into some remote rep like S3 bucket or GitHub. So we will not lose our current infrastructure
What other thing you
information.
will do with that S3 bucket? Normal bucket or any special bucket?
We can add credential to that S3 bucket that no one can access it. So it
What
is
else?
our and that's all I can do.
Some sort of version control also you can say, so that it can maintain multiple versions.
Okay.
Okay, Ansible, you wanted to understand if your Ansible installation says that some module is not available. Do you know like there are some? How do you download modules in Ansible that somebody else has written, or
Uh, we can no sir, I didn't.
which modules have you used in Ansible?
Like from shell module, copy
Mhm.
module, file module.
That's it.
Yeah. No, I also use service module. I have used many modules.
Okay, pretty much built-in stuff that it offers.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right. See, Praveen, I have asked like few questions. I got some idea, and
Okay, okay.
my feedback would be at high level is that you have understanding, but not that much. You haven't done good enough hands-on.
Okay, okay.
Terraform, you haven't created a lot of infrastructure using Terraform.
No, sir. I just created instances and
Instance,
VPC.
even
That's
EC2 and other projects that you have done are very small projects.
all. Okay, sir.
VPC creation, internet gateway, etc., or building a Docker file with just HTML file in it is again very small set of.
Okay. Yes.
Also, some of the concepts like what microservices are not very correct.
Okay, sir.
That so basics, for example, the concept should be clear first of all. From a fresher, people would expect that they have studied well, so at least they understand when microservices architecture has to be used, what are the advantages, disadvantages of that. So you mentioned that management of microservices architecture is easy. One person can manage multiple microservices. Now that's slightly debatable topic. Usually it is regarded as slightly complex to manage,
Yes, sir.
because when you are going to use microservices, some of the advantages are that it can scale up and scale down. So you have small microservice. So you may need two or three of them of same microservice, and you can scale down or scale up on demand. That is the
Okay.
advantage. And also the advantage is that you can develop them in isolation. So you can work on say login microservice, upload microservice, something like that. And but the downside is that because they scale up, scale down, you have to put right policies to for scaling up and down, and management is slightly complex. That's why all these Kubernetes and things come into picture. It makes like it's a bit of specialized knowledge that once you have good knowledge of Kubernetes, then you can manage these probably at ease. Somebody will say that yes, it's easy to manage after an experience,
Okay, sir.
and otherwise your concepts needs to be worked on first, then you need to work on a bit of hands-on projects, and I'm
So,
not
so which kind of project do I need to work?
something
Like if there
complex, some complex projects where you are implementing say auto scaling in Kubernetes cluster. You are scaling up, scaling down the microservices based on the demand. You are
okay,
not deploying through Jenkins, you are looking at GitOps based deployment in Kubernetes.
okay,
You are creating all your infrastructure using Terraform.
yes,
In
okay,
Terraform also you go next level, you create modules. The output from different modules will become input for your subsequent modules, that sort of thing. So there will be
okay,
a module for your entire VPC creation. Then when you create EC2, then VPC output will become input for your EC2 creation.
okay,
Pipelines, you have to build pipeline for complex applications. HTML is, these institutes will tell you that that's good enough, but you need to build Java application. .NET, saying that I haven't built Java application and .NET automatically gives a very bad impression, that because companies will be using these technologies. HTML is not extensively used. It's the Java, .NET, Spring Boot applications,
so that
Node.js.
so that I need to develop
You don't need to
using
develop. You have somebody developed it, or public libraries. There is a famous pet clinic app that people I usually suggest them to use. There is a sample pet clinic app. A lot of other applications are there. Make sure that you understand a very high level what that app is doing, and then you develop its Docker file and everything from there, like how that get built and that gets deployed.
Okay, thank
And final thing, maybe get certified as well. I didn't find uh, much certifications. I don't see any certification on your resume.
No, sir, I have
Hmm.
not done.
So once you get these things hands-on, your Terraform response was not correct. FMT is not the right approach to uh, create existing infra. So look at that use case also. In Terraform, look at all possible use cases that something was already existing. How do you bring it under Terraform? Something got corrupted, destroyed manually, some outside Terraform. How do you bring it back under Terraform? So those kind of things, because these things will
Okay.
happen when you go into any environment. So
Yes,
just think, okay, Terraform is to create resources, fine. What about existing stuff? What about mistakes? What can go wrong? Does Terraform state file prints my username and password if I create a RDS, and how to prevent that?
yes, sir.
Everything, your username, password goes into Terraform. So how to prevent those kind of scenarios? What Terraform offers in that?
So I need to just clear my concept on
Yes.
all the.
Concepts are somewhere your like theoretical knowledge. Well, I usually start with a bit of theoretical understanding, say microservices architecture or pipelines. At least 5 or 6 topic subjects you can talk about pipelines. I will not like have my secrets. I will have ensure those secrets. I will have proper stages available at this thing. I will have like gating criterias at each level. So if my test cases are not passing, my unit tests are not passing, I will fail the build. If my functional Selenium tests are not successful, I will fail the build and I will not deploy it. So mention these kind of 5, 6 points about everything.
Okay. And I need to build complex projects, right?
Build complex projects, build real .NET Java based applications, containerize them, publish them to Kubernetes using GitOps approach, all those things, and move slightly up in the chain, move away from Jenkins, look at GitLab, GitHub Actions, Azure DevOps to deploy.
Okay.
Build and deploy basically. So yeah, otherwise your start is good. Make some need a bit of more effort, and then you can.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll see you some other day.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye.